is NBC Palm Springs. Breaking news.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gino Lamont.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. We begin tonight with breaking news. Federal medical teams are headed to a Valley hospital to help with the unprecedented surge in cases. Eisenhower Medical Center expects federal officials to arrive just this week. These are major developments in the local fight on coronavirus. Eisenhower says it's not just their ICU beds that are almost full, but now their regular hospital beds are at 80% capacity. Our Kitty Alvarado is live now outside Eisenhower Medical Center with details on this late-breaking story for us. Kitty, exactly what are these federal officials, or where are these federal officials coming from, and what does this mean?
Well, Sarah, these are active military personnel, and they will be arriving on Thursday. Now, over and over, hospitals here in our area, particularly Eisenhower, has been telling us that their doctors and nurses have been going since March, and that this rate of infection with the coronavirus has been really impacting their hospital, and the rate just isn't sustainable to having a full staff here. Well, now that help will arrive on Thursday, and that medical military team will consist of physician's assistants, critical care nurses, and respiratory technicians, and that will be a huge help for this hospital. The county says they are grateful. And now something else the county is telling us about is a big delay in the lab testing of coronavirus results for people that took the test. They say that that will have a big impact in the rate of spread here in the county. Also, it will affect, it'll also affect the way that we report to the state, because those results will also be delayed. Testing and contact tracing are critical in slowing the spread of coronavirus, but coronavirus testing in Riverside County is in high demand. Sites are seeing delays of 3 days to a week for appointments, and that's not the worst part. Those getting tested will not get their test results for at least 7 to 9 days.
By the time our contact tracers get the information, the patient who is positive would have been going more than 10 days from the point where they were tested. In those 10 days, people that tested positive may have unknowingly exposed even more people. Something that's risky because they may not know they're positive and have been making more contact with other people. Quick results matter, as our county positivity rate has climbed to 20%. ICU capacity bounces between 90 and 100%, factors that force the state to shut down more businesses. The state says the positivity rate must be lower than 8%, and there must be at least 20% ICU capacity. So when will we be allowed to reopen? The numbers are the ones that are going to tell the story in the end. It's not a matter of days or weeks. It's a matter of what the numbers will eventually show. And even if our numbers do go down, it may take weeks before we see action from the state. We're getting test results back so delayed that the numbers are not representative of that particular day. That's why wearing our masks, social distancing, and washing our hands to avoid getting sick will be the key to healing our county. Imagine if you could take a medicine that was 95% effective, you would take that medicine. In this case, we're simply saying, do these 3 things, and you could have a 95% success rate in stopping the spread. The county says that they're seeing a troubling spike in the cases of younger people, 18 to 39-year-olds, in the last several weeks. They say that they're urging everyone to avoid social gatherings, because just in the last 2 weeks, a 19-year-old has died of the coronavirus here in our county. Reporting live from Rancho Mirage, Kitty Alvarado, back to you in the studio.
All right. Thank you, Kitty. State officials roll out changes statewide on coronavirus testing, including updates on who qualifies and assurance that the testing will be covered by their insurance. And you can see the new tiers for state testing on your screen. This lists who's a priority from top to bottom. The state is seeing an increase of cases, and backlogs at labs continue to grow, as Kitty just showed us.
Let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers from Riverside County and the entire Coachella Valley. 733 new cases were reported in Riverside County today. 126 of those were from our valley. 3 new deaths were also reported countywide, but none of those were from the desert.
And for some perspective, take a look at this graph from Riverside County Public Health. You can see the last week we've set new daily case records 3 days in a row. Those are the two highest bars on the graph there. This week, the daily case numbers have been down slightly. And this graph tracks the number of daily tests in the county and how many of those are positive. The most recent data confirms our positivity rate at 16%, meaning 16 out of every 100 who were tested positive for COVID-19. And finally, a look at the trajectory. You can see about a month ago, it looked like we were at least flattening the curve, but as the county began to reopen, the cases began to go up.
We've never had as many people infected or infectious. We have never had as many recorded positive cases each day. And we've never had as many people in the hospital.
Los Angeles could go into a full shutdown if numbers don't start getting better. Today, a new record in LA County. About 4,000 new coronavirus cases were reported. LA County and San Diego school districts are both starting the school year entirely online.
Yeah, but not the case in Orange County. Their Board of Education approved recommendations to reopen classrooms next month with no social distancing, and masks will not be required. Thousands of parents have signed a petition urging the school board to follow state guidelines. Board officials say requiring students to wear masks is, quote, not only difficult, but may even be harmful over time. There is no peer-reviewed scientific research proving masks can cause harm over time.
Nearly a third of young adults are at risk for severe COVID-19, and smoking plays a large part in that risk. Researchers looked at data from adults between 18 and 25 years old. They found 32% had at least one of the CDC risk factors, and half of that group were smokers.
Well, money's tight in all sectors, as we know, and the teachers union is now worried about pay cuts for teachers that could be in the works. Yet we're learning superintendents and assistant superintendents are still keeping their 13% pay raise they just received in December. Our Daytona Everett is live now, and she explains what's next for Desert Sands Unified School District. Daytona, good evening.
Gino, top officials at DSUSD originally said that they would take 2 furlough days, but they're going back on that statement now, saying that they've been working hard all summer. Well, the teachers union says that teachers have also been working hard all summer, but their financial future is uncertain. June 30th, teachers' contracts at Desert Sands Unified School District expired.
We're willing to accept no salary increases to close out the contract and complete the bargaining, and the district said no.
Trina Gonzalez-Alisi, president of the teachers union for DSUSD, says she believes the district left it open so that they could negotiate salary cuts.
We're not going to get any pay raises. We will be paying more for our medical insurance.
The district says there won't be any pay cuts for teachers because the governor's budget preserves funding for K-12 schools. But there still is a lot of uncertainty. Alisi says the priority is being put on top management rather than teachers.
It makes me very frustrated.
Back in December, tensions ran high as teachers were informed top officials for Desert Sands would get a 13% pay raise.
There is absolutely no way teachers would get 13% increase in pay. We usually come in at about 1 or 2%.
The district said it was in an effort to be more competitive with other districts in the county. This is all relevant right now because recently top officials said they would take 2 furlough days where they wouldn't work, but also wouldn't get paid.
But we thought that was at least a nice gesture, that they would be willing to take furlough days, and they have not asked for any from teachers.
But then they went back on that decision.
I don't believe that our cabinet and superintendent should be taking 2 furlough days at all because of all the increased workload that they've had to endure through these challenging times.
I can tell you that teachers are also working hard over the summer. I've had a number of teachers contact me saying that they've purchased on their own new computers, new printers, they've expanded their Wi-Fi bandwidth on their own. That's money out of their own pocket.
The first of many expenses to come with a new virtual back-to-school model. Now, we asked DSUSD why that proposed teacher's contract was denied. They couldn't answer that question for us. We'll, of course, continue to follow this story here on NBC Palm Springs. Reporting live from La Quinta, I'm Daytona Everett.
Right, thank you, Daytona. A new study suggests immunity to COVID-19 might only last a couple of months. Researchers found 60% had a potent level of antibodies after an average of 23 days after the first onset of symptoms. But that number dropped almost 17% after 3 months. The scientists say the levels of antibodies were higher in those who had more severe disease. This study has not yet been peer-reviewed.
I am worried. I do think the fall and the winter of 2020 and 2021 are going to be probably one of the most difficult times that we've experienced in American public health.
That's the director of the CDC with a dire warning. He says most worried because coronavirus will overlap with flu season in the fall. And scientists in the UK are telling countries to prepare for a winter COVID-19 peak because people spend more time indoors in the cold months. The drug maker Moderna publishes results of its vaccine trial for COVID-19. The results show the drug-induced antibody responds in all the participants who have been tested so far. Scientists say the drug was generally safe and well tolerated, but the trial only tested the drug's safety, not its effectiveness.
Coronavirus coverage brought to you by East Valley COVID-19 testing site, serving residents of eastern Coachella Valley.
And Jerry's continuing his double shifts while Mike takes a little vacation time, and he joins us now in studio with the latest on your AccuWeather forecast. Jerry.
Yeah, temps are still close to those high readings this afternoon. 110 currently at Palm Springs, 8% relative humidity, a hot and dry day around the valley. Currently 77 at Big Bear, 92 Yucca Valley, 105 at 29 Palms, 106 at Desert Hot Springs, almost 110 at Coachella, 106 at Indio. Cathedral City, 108 also Rancho Mirage. Mostly clear skies. We did have a few high clouds over the area. Not much going on, except for the winds. They did pick up a little bit. Basically, the wind-prone areas, we're having gusts near 50 miles an hour on Whitewater. Out of the west right now, 24-mile-an-hour gusts last reported at Yucca Valley, and 20-mile-an-hour gusts at Palm Springs and Thousand Palms over the past 15 minutes. So we do have all the action staying well to the east of us over Arizona. That's where the monsoonal moisture is. Not much going on here. Matter of fact, turn on the light and you can see very active storms over New Mexico and Arizona. That's where it's going to stay, well to the east of us. No rain for us. We'll have another hot and dry day, but near normal numbers. 108 to 112, the range of highs again tomorrow, much like we saw this afternoon. No weather advisories for heat. Dew points tomorrow will be in the 40s, and we'll see triple digits begin at around lunchtime tomorrow, and again around 110 for tomorrow. Comfort Air 3-day forecast holding steady around that 110 mark for the valley through Friday. After that, things change a little bit. We'll check the weekend out. Full forecast in minutes.
All right, thank you, Jerry. Well, since March, the demand at local food banks has increased tremendously. Find Food Bank in Indio now serves more than 150,000 people every month. And to help out, local businesses like Cardiff Transportation are volunteering their staff and those shiny black cars for deliveries. Our Olivia Sandusky joins us now with more. Olivia.
Gino, Cardiff has been doing this since early April, and while the private transportation business has been pretty slow these past few months, they are using those vans to deliver food to those who aren't able to leave their home.
You'll usually see Cardiff cars on the way to an A-list party, the Palm Springs Film Festival, or Coachella. But now they drive to a different location.
We go to the food bank and we pick up a certain amount of boxes, certain amount of bags, and we go to each household.
With major events canceled due to the pandemic, the transportation company lost 95% of its business. Now they've teamed up with Find Food Bank to make deliveries every other week.
And on Thursday, we're doing 13 households, 19 boxes, 32 bags.
The group serves 150 people a month, giving their vans and employees a new purpose.
You should see the look on these people's faces. They know me by name now. And it just feels nice to do that for everybody.
Cardiff says they were able to retain and pay some employees, while other staff volunteers for the food bank, which is in need of help.
Due to the age of our volunteers and closing down the warehouse, we lost all of our volunteers.
Throughout the last few months, Find Food Bank staff says demand has gone up 110%.
The need is definitely growing. We usually have about 5,000 volunteers in the community, and at that time we were processing 1 million pounds of food through our warehouse a month. Right now, we're processing 2 million pounds of food in our warehouse a month.
While they aren't sure when business will return to normal, Cardiff plans to continue helping those who can't leave their home.
As long as I can do this. It feels really good doing it.
Find Food Bank staff also says they do still have the National Guard helping out at their warehouse, but they could possibly leave by the end of August, so additional help is needed to serve the community. Olivia Sandusky, NBC Palm Springs.
All right, thank you, Olivia. Coming up, a major reversal from the Trump administration. We'll have an update that'll affect more than 1 million international college students now in our country.
When we welcome our viewers here in the West, New York adding teeth to its crackdown on travelers arriving from COVID hotspots. But can they enforce self-isolation? Also, what we've learned about the chances of getting sick again with the virus. One man's disturbing account when we see you ahead on Nightly News.
The Trump administration reverses its policy barring many international students from staying here in the U.S. to attend college. The decision comes about a week after ICE announced students at schools with only online courses would need to either leave the U.S. or transfer schools. According to a source, the White House is now focused on having the rule apply to new students only.
Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is in the hospital. She's being treated for a possible infection. Her spokesperson says she was admitted last night for fever and chills. She's resting now, but will stay in the hospital for a few days to receive antibiotics.
Ghislaine Maxwell will stay in jail until her trial begins next year. During a bail hearing, the judge explained there wasn't anything to ensure Maxwell would show back up to court if she was released on bail. Maxwell has been accused of helping Jeffrey Epstein sexually abuse young girls. The prosecution read statements from some of Maxwell's accusers, one of them calling her a predator and a monster, saying Maxwell would run the second she was let out. Maxwell pled not guilty to the charges that she's facing.
When we come back, Jerry has a look at the forecast. Hi, Jerry.
Hey there. Yeah, a lot of sunshine today, a few high clouds. We'll see mostly sunny skies and a repeat performance of what we had today. But things change a little bit for the weekend. We'll check all that out. Full forecast next. Hello again. Yeah, looking at our Agua Caliente Casino Cam Rancho Mirage. We're looking at mostly clear skies, a few high clouds. Palm Springs, similar view. Lots of clear skies above us. And we'll see lots of sunshine as we move into tomorrow. A high of 110 earlier today. Pretty close to normal after we recorded a 119, a 121, and a 117 3 consecutive days. Finally, numbers more manageable. Cool? Yeah, right. 108 for Palm Springs right now. 98 degrees at Desert Hot Springs. 105 at 29 Palms. 92 at Cabazon. 110 still at Coachella at this hour. Clear skies for the most part on our satellite imagery. Not a whole lot going on. We do have that ridge of high pressure that brought us the heat. It weakened somewhat to bring those temperatures back down. But the very western perimeter still pulling up some high clouds. We saw a little bit of that today. That should pull out beginning tomorrow. But you can see all the action staying to our east. That is rotating around that high pressure center. Scattering of showers over there and a lot of lightning too. If you put that in there we go. Yeah, all moving its way to the north around the western perimeter of that high pressure center. Again, temperatures will be somewhat near normal for overnight lows tonight. 70s, close to 80 degrees for tonight through tomorrow morning. And tomorrow, much like today, temperatures around that 110 mark as we move into lots of sunshine tomorrow afternoon. A little bit of fog west of us too. And winds will be an issue a little bit, not wind advisory strength, but onshore, gusty through the San Gorgonio Pass and high desert tomorrow afternoon. Dew points around that 40-degree mark, and temps that'll move into triple-digit territory beginning at around noon tomorrow, and again around 110 for many of us tomorrow afternoon, and again Thursday. Another day just like today. So things change a little bit this weekend. We'll have that ridge of high pressure strengthen just enough to move those numbers above 110 for all of us in the valley. And even Sunday will be the hottest day. 113s, 114s, 115s, and 116s under partly cloudy skies. We'll see lots of sunshine tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. Clouds begin to move in. Sunday looks like a partly cloudy day with hot temperatures around the valley. Dew points relatively dry tomorrow and again on Thursday with some single-digit relative humidity. Those numbers inch up just a little bit Friday and Saturday. Here's your Comfort Air 7-day forecast. 109 tomorrow, around that 110 mark again Thursday and Friday for the valley. The weekend, the numbers move up a little bit. Pair 113 Saturday and Sunday. A little extra cloud cover Sunday. Similar weather on Monday afternoon.
Well, confusion in the world of the mouse. Just days after Disney World in Orlando reopened, Disney Hong Kong shut down. There's been a sudden uptick in cases in Hong Kong, 180 new cases in 10 days. Visitors have been given temperature checks and hand sanitizing stations in the park. Disney says it is falling in line with local government measures.
Snapchat may be gearing up to challenge TikTok. It's testing a new feature where users can move through public content by swiping up or down, something TikTok made popular. The timing is interesting, though, because the Trump administration is currently threatening to ban TikTok because of the app's ties to China. We'll be right back.
Johnny McFadden runs a pub in Cornwall, England. He was struggling with how to best maintain social distancing. He's now installed an electric fence to keep customers at a safe distance. Says the fence is not on, but everybody thinks it's on. McFadden says, quote, "They'll keep away from it if it's because it's the fear factor." Hey, whatever it takes to get the job done, they figured it out in Cornwall, England. Before we go, once again, don't forget to click on the QR code there if you'd like to get to any of our social media websites or see any part or this entire show. Again, if you missed something, a story you like, you want to find out more about it, just click on the button right here. That's going to do it for us. We'll see you back here tonight at 6 o'clock.